you need to be very careful about your own personal experiences. And I'll say this from my own perspective, because your brain adapts with each experience.
That's great.
So what happens is that, and this is from my personal experience. I think I mentioned this before. I don't know if I said in the last interview, but I was single. I met a man who was a retired athlete.
I remember you telling me the one
Yes.
that one saying $5,000 on Chase?
No, that's a different one. But this guy, like, he was the flashy guy.
Yeah.
Okay, like the cars, the houses, everything. And what men need to understand is there's guys like this who shine women on. Like they literally lay it on thick. And in that one experience, I dated him for several months, and I started to not like him because he wasn't authentic enough for me. All that flashy stuff is fine to get your attention, but then there's got to be substance, and it's got to be like more for me, you know? And so I'm getting to know him, and I'm just kind of like, this ain't it, you know? And I had a guy best friend, who I'll never forget. I broke up with that guy, or stopped seeing him, and I met somebody else, and he was like an engineer and like a professor at like a college. And we went on a date, and I came home, and my best guy friend calls me, how'd the date go? Da-da-da. And I was like, he's all right. You know, he drives a Ford Explorer. He's da-da-da. And my friend got really quiet, like, what?
Yeah.
And he was like, why did you just say that? He's like, that's not how you talk. That is not you. Yeah. No, what is going on with you? And I literally, he checked me, right? So he checked me, and it was like, just that, with one experience of this shiny, flashy, over-the-top guy, I had taken my preferences and my standards and put them here to say, I deserve.
Yeah. So, Rebecca, let's pause real quick. Let's remember the question I asked you, because I don't want to get lost in this. Let me tell you a story that happens in Atlanta.
Okay.
What happens in Atlanta is that a lot of these guys with money, they, like you said, laid on thick to a lot of different women.
Yes.
But the thing
I was like one of 10 for that guy.
And so what happens is, a lot of times it's just sex and just casual things. But what happens is the women, they think that this guy really wants to be with them.
Yes.
So now it sets a whole new standard. So
he never wanted to be with me.
So now you have a whole bunch of guys making all these women think, I deserve baller or bust.
This is my new standard but I just got to find the guy who's the good guy and all the other intrinsic stuff that I was missing with this guy.
Yes.
Not realizing, back to apples and oranges. This is not boyfriend material. This is not husband material. This is that F-boy dude that you just play with. But that's not how women think. They don't think like that. So they don't categorize these guys like this. And this is what I saw in matchmaking. They're coming to me wanting that guy with all the other intrinsic values of being faithful and loving and kind and all the other stuff they're looking for that wasn't in that guy.
Wow.
And I'm like, you're looking for Superman. That doesn't exist. And if it does exist, he doesn't want you. He has too many options, and he doesn't want you. Or he's been married for 20 years because he got locked down a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but that is a real experience, to where the human mind has the ability to have like one experience, and now that becomes the standard.
That becomes
the new norm.
Yeah.
And if I had not had a friend to check me about it, it's like, you're that little girl from Ohio. Like, cut it out. Do not start acting like this, because he'd been in Atlanta for a long time. And he was like, Rebecca, no, please do not turn into that girl.
Man, and the sad reality is I meet so many girls like that in Atlanta, and they have one or two experiences with a rapper or an athlete, and it creates this whole new standard for men. And then, like you said, they reject so many great men who would be great matches for them because they want, hood Jesus.
I agree. And one of the things that was also I became aware of when my friend was kind of checking me about this is that you literally think that you deserve that just by who you are. So there's this, because you all you did was be pretty to get that man's attention. You didn't have to have, if you're a beautiful woman, you didn't have to have anything else going on for you because they don't care about those things. That dude, the player dude, does not care about anything else. Yeah. So now just being a pretty girl, I deserve this. That is so flawed and it is so jacked up. And if you take that experience at 25 and then you start only dating in that direction, well, then like you say, by the time she's meeting some really good guys, she's completely dismissing
And then
them.
you add into the social media generation where you maybe be 20 years old and they're sliding in your DMs in mass, sending 100 DMs a day. So
That's
now
right.
you got a DM from, freaking, J.R. Smith or, some super celebrity. And now all of a sudden that feeds your value. I remember there was this, and we got to get back to the advice for the guys, but I remember there was this girl on Tinder, and she had a picture of her next to Odell Beckham.
Oh God.
Smiling.
That was her pick.
and her caption was, "I effed Odell Beckham. Get on my level." So because
Are you serious?
I kid you not, I wish I would have saved that picture, but so she literally was under the idea because I had sex with this guy. Now I'm on this top-notch chick level, and you guys gotta get on my level. Wow. Yeah. The world is changing, Rebecca.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
But it's real. I mean, what you're talking about is very real. Now, back to the fella's advice. So this is why I said you have to mind your experiences. Because what happens is that men chase girls like that, the baddies, who've had those experiences with those tricking off dudes. And now you're chasing behind the girl, but you're not on that level. Whew. So now here comes rejection. Here comes you feeling like you're not good enough. Here comes affecting your self-esteem. When you're really a really great guy, but now you sleep with one baddie.
If you get lucky.
If you get lucky. You become friends with one baddie, and you're like secretly in love with her, but she's friend zoned you a long time ago. But you hang around her, you see her. That becomes your subconscious standard for what you want.
Wow.
And what the epitome of everything. And now they do the same thing that the women were doing in matchmaking. They're saying, I want a baddie, but I want her to have all the virtues and intrinsic personalities and values that's missing from my friend.
Yes.
They do the exact same thing. And they don't realize it when they're doing it because it's like you're opening yourself up to this experience. And now that becomes your standard. Now you want a stripper body, but you want Mother Teresa in a stripper body. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. Yeah. With like you say, social media and everything, the baddies and their profiles on Instagram and everything else. Yeah. They got so many men coming at them, they don't know if they're coming or going. But yet now that's what you like. Yeah. Because you've created an appetite and a standard for this that is here. Yeah. And now you always chasing it, but then you're saying women are like this, women are like that. When I hear men talk about and very overly generalized women are like this, women are like that, I'm like, who you chasing? Yeah. Who are you talking to? Because it's definitely not like your average sweet girl, the bank teller.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just not. You're talking about very entitled, superficial women. And men, you're superficial too, because you chasing the body, but then you have conversations with her and there ain't a lot there. Yeah. It's not a lot going on. Yeah.